Hi all, welcome to the 14th edition of Professional Visa and Education Services News Update. My name is Janish, I'm the Director of Professional Visa and Education Services and also Registered Migration Agent in Australia. Now today I'm going to talk about one of the hottest topics right now, extension of student visa. Now this is a time of the year like a lot of international students, they seems to be finishing their visa somewhere around August or September. So this is one of the busiest time for international student. Mainly we just finished the big round of enrollment for July. So congratulations to those ones who have started studying in a new education provider, or also you've started your second semester or next semester in university or colleges. Now good luck with your future study. Now moving on, obviously today I'm going to talk about student visa extension. Now there has been a lot of questions, and obviously we have received a lot of inquiries and a lot of application for visa extension, which we will proceed very shortly. Now for some we have already started. Now the main criteria for visa extensions, international student visa extension, after 1st of July, nothing's basically changed in terms of renewal. So you still keep following the similar kind of rule of thumb in terms of your English or financial requirements, but I'm just going to take you through some common guidelines for you guys to follow. So hopefully this video will help you. If you're lodging a student visa extension yourself, this video will help you. But once again, we extremely recommend you to choose your migration agent to do your visa renewal or any kind of visa application, just because it's not just going through the checklist, it's just making sure that we covered everything, every document based upon your situation. Now every situation is different, okay? Even though if it's just a normal visa extension, each scenario is different, because you got to think about each student has a different academic level. Each student have a different competency in terms of English. Each student will have a different completion rate, like how far they're up to in terms of their current course, or whether or not they're going to enroll in a future course. Okay, so there are some of the major things you got to be careful. So that's why I strongly recommend that you come and see registered migration agent for your visa extension, because each scenario is different. Now first thing first, I'm going to take you through your COE. So if you are looking at a visa extension, you need to have a current COE, and then obviously you'll lodge a visa based upon what is the end date of the course in your COE, in your new COE, or the course that you're willing to complete. Now that's the first cap of the rank. Now the second thing is you need to have a medical cover, so overseas student health cover. So make sure that you have an overseas student health cover policy that covers you for entire period of study according to your COE, okay? Confirmation of enrollment. So your confirmation of enrollment will tell you the end date of your course, so make sure you have a health cover to cover that. Now there is a lot of choice in the market. Make sure you compare the rate and you get the best deal out of it, okay? So there's NIB, Bupa health cover, Global Allianz, there's Medibank. So there's a lot of health provider, a lot of health insurance provider out there in the market. So make sure you do your research and make sure you get the good price, because obviously if you're doing for 1 year or 2 years, it does make a difference, and especially if you're a couple, it will make a huge difference doing a little bit of research in terms of your medical insurance health cover. Now the second thing is obviously you need to have your passport copy, valid passport. Now make sure to demonstrate, or initially if you have used your old passport to come to Australia, make sure you update your passport detail with immigration together with the application. That's very important that you keep immigration up to date about your details. Now, two most important things, common questions: English requirement, whether or not I need to sit for IELTS exam. Now, this is purely depend upon what's your completion rate, or what's your highest degree in Australia. Now, if you have finished Australian qualification framework, Certificate 3 for a diploma or bachelor's, any kind of qualification in Australia, you don't need English requirement when you do the extension. However, if you haven't completed your degree or any qualification in Australia yet, and you only finished 51% of your current course, general rule of thumb is they will ask for English requirement as well. Okay, so that's just the general rule of thumb. So situation might vary depending upon case by case scenario. Now, the second most important thing is the financial requirement. Now, do I need to show a financial requirement? Well, yes, you do. If you haven't completed 51% of your current degree and you're trying to get extension for your current qualification that you're wishing to finish or complete in Australia. Now, usually financial requirement is mandatory. Now, this depends upon case by case scenario. I mean, we have different ways of justifying the financial requirements based upon the legislation, but I'm not going to go through that legislation today, but that I'm just giving a general rule of thumb, so be careful with the financial requirement as well. Now, next thing is obviously you need to demonstrate your GTE, so genuine temporary entrant. So make sure whatever the statement you put in there, the statement justifies why you're seeking this particular course in Australia and what you're going to do when you go back to your own country with this particular education. Are you going to establish a business? Are you going to help your parents? Or are you going to seek an employment opportunity with certain company? So these are the things you need to be careful about now in terms of GTE criteria. Now, with the expert, with migration agent, we make sure that you have detailed your background in terms of what you have studied so far, why you're studying this course, how this course going to contribute to your future career. So basically you need to sum it up in a summary, in a nice essay sort of format, to say how this education in Australia going to help you in terms of your career in future. So that's the most important thing. So GTE criteria hasn't changed, so make sure you justify that regardless what others says. Make sure that GTE criteria is fulfilled even though it's a visa extension. Just put that statement in there. That just gives a case officer like your brief history, and it tells you a story about how you're going to complete your study and go back to your country. So that's majority of the things I've already covered. Now, as I said, each case is different. We have to tackle it in a different way. Now, if there has been some visa condition breach in it previously, like SVP, non-SVP, or coming from higher education to diploma level, or there has been a study gap, or there has been a cancellation of COE in the past, or there has been some adverse information from education provider to immigration. Now, these are a little bit extreme scenario where we need to take extra care. So just normal visa application won't do the trick. So we have to make sure why there is a gap. We need to make sure why there's a breach of visa conditioning while you were studying in Australia previously. So things like that, you have to be really, really careful, and that's where you need registered migration agent to look after your visa extension. So, I mean, the market rate's not that expensive for visa extension, so a little bit of money will take you a long way. So my word of advice is to go and seek advice with your migration agent. If you don't have a migration agent yet, come and see us. We're located at 99 York Street, Suite 4, Level 9. But I strongly recommend that you go seek help from registered migration agent, not from anyone. So the house has to be registered. That's the key, because once you register, then you aggregate a member, the code of conduct, how to give advice. So make sure they're registered migration agent. Now, that's it for today. If you have any questions about visa extension, or it's a busy time of the year, if you'd like to do your visa extension, please come and see us. As I said, we're located at 99 York Street, Suite 4, Level 9. And our phone number is 0290074409. Our website is www.provisa.com.au. And obviously I'll be back next week with more news and updates in new topics. Hopefully I'm going to talk about general skill migration again, because we have a new skill occupation list for Queensland, South Australia and the other states. So I'm going to talk about that in next edition, just so I wanted to ascertain more in terms of what has changed and how is that change going to impact to your general skill migration. Now, that's it for today. I'll see you next week, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.